Welcome to this tutorial video. If you're watching this video, it's because you have set up a special purpose LLC. Congratulations! The special purpose LLC can be used with either your solo 401k or your IRA. We're going to try to cover everything in this video as if you have either structure, because remember, the operating agreement, the LLC minutes are going to be the same for either structure. If you have a solo 401k with the special purpose LLC, then that means the 401k is the member of your LLC and you are the manager. That means you get to be in direct control of how those LLC assets are invested. If you've set up a checkbook IRA with us, also known as an IRA LLC, then your IRA is the member of your LLC and you are the LLC manager. Again, this gives you full checkbook control, so you get to decide where and how your IRA assets are invested. You've probably received an email for us directing you to your 401k dashboard to get your LLC documents. That is, if the LLC is owned by your solo 401k trust. If you have an IRA LLC with us, we've also delivered your LLC documents to you. Once you log into your 401k dashboard, you'll have a folder that's going to have all of your LLC documents. This includes your LLC EIN letter, your articles of organization from the state of Wyoming, and the receipt proving formation. We also include the LLC minutes and the operating agreement. Now I want to pause here for just a moment. You probably saw in the email we sent you, we directed you to this article in our knowledge base. It's really important that you read through this article. It's going to help you make a lot of sense of your special purpose LLC. We cover funding, the ins and outs of why we use Wyoming, as well as how to access your LLC documents. You can see right here, if the special purpose LLC is owned by your 401k, then that's where we tell you what those documents are and how to access them on your 401k dashboard. But let's go back to the operating agreement for your new LLC. The operating agreement is 22 pages long, and it mostly contains a lot of the rules, the ins and outs of your LLC. This is a legal document that talks about all of the parameters of how your LLC can operate. It includes things like the notation that this is a Wyoming LLC and also who is designated as the registered agent. That's all things that our team has set up for you. It's a good idea to read through this document so that you're familiar with it, but really all that you need to do is scroll to the second to last page and sign. One thing though I do want to draw your attention to is the management. This is where you can see that you are listed as the manager of this LLC and that you have the responsibility for the day-to-day management of the business and affairs for the LLC. What that means is that you are allowed to direct the goings on of the LLC, specifically where and how the LLC assets are invested. There's also a section in the operating agreement that specifically discusses prohibited transactions. This is critical because your LLC is owned by a retirement plan, either your solo 401k or your IRA. Now I'm going to just scroll down to the bottom. This is more legalese about your special purpose LLC. And what I'm looking for are the signature pages. So just like you needed to sign signature pages for your solo 401k, there's also a subscription signature page for your LLC. You will sign as the manager because you are the manager of the LLC. If your LLC is owned by your 401k trust, if this is a special purpose LLC for your solo 401k, you will also sign as the member because you are the trustee of your 401k trust. Remember, LLCs have two component parts. The member, that's who puts in the money, and the manager, that's who controls where the money is invested. If your LLC is owned by your solo 401k, you can sign as both member and manager. The next document we're going to cover are your LLC minutes. These are the various meetings and goings-on of the LLC. Some of these documents can be left blank. Some of them will never be completed. The first is the waiver of notice of annual meeting. If your LLC is owned by your IRA or your 401k, what this particular meeting minutes does is say that you, as the manager, have decided you don't need to have an annual meeting for the LLC. You are the manager, so this is really a bit more of pomp and circumstance, but it's a good idea to fill out this page with a place, date, and time of the meeting. This can be at your home or office. Date and sign this page. What this page essentially says is that your LLC can operate without you as the manager having an annual meeting with yourself. The next page is the minutes of the annual meeting of managers. And for this, all you need to do is sign and date. The next couple pages are going to be talking about opening bank and brokerage accounts for your LLC. It's a good idea to fill out this page. All you need to do is complete the institution information and the address, give the list of authorized signers. This is usually just the LLC manager, sign and date. For example, if you are opening a bank account with Solera or Titan Bank, you'll list their information right here, list the bank address, put your name here as an authorized signer, sign and date. This form does not need to be notarized, and once you sign a copy of this resolution, just store it in your records. Similarly, you might complete this page if you are opening a brokerage account for your LLC. So this might say something like Schwab, Interactive Brokers, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, Vanguard, etc. And then you as the manager would be listed as the individual authorized to make trades. Again, all you need to do is sign and date. And this only needs to be completed if you are opening a brokerage account for your LLC. Once you complete these resolutions for bank accounts, brokerage accounts, waiver of meetings, all you need to do is upload a signed copy of those documents to your 401k dashboard. Just like the signature pages for your solo 401k, you do not need to send a signed copy of the minutes to anyone at Neighbors Group. This page can be disregarded completely. What this talks about is that there are multiple members in the LLC. There are not. Your particular LLC has one member. That is your IRA or your 401k. This page can be disregarded completely and does not need to be signed. This is a waiver notice of a special meeting. If there was some reason that you would call a special meeting for the LLC by yourself, this page generally does not need to be completed and can simply be filed. These are the minutes for that special meeting that you did not have, so you can generally just file this page as well. Remember, not all of these meeting minutes or resolutions are going to be completed. Some of them are here just for you to have in case you would somehow need them in the future. The big minutes to pay attention to are that resolution to open a bank account and the resolution to open a brokerage account. The rest can largely just be filed away. This is an interesting minute that 99.99% of our clients do not use. This would be amending the operating agreement and adding a new member. So for example, if you were moving from one IRA to another, maybe a pre-tax IRA to a Roth IRA, or if you were moving from one 401k trust to another, then you might need to amend your operating agreement. This is really, really rare. So 9 times out of 10, you're just going to file this page. If we scroll up to the very top, let's just have a quick recap here. This waiver of notice of annual meeting, you might want to complete. That way you're not beholden to have an annual meeting with yourself as the LLC manager. Probably a good idea to fill this out, sign, date, and then file. This can also be signed and dated if you're having an annual meeting. If you are not having the annual meeting because you filled out this first page, then you can just file the second page. And then you'll want to consider completing the resolution to open a bank account if you're opening a bank account for your LLC, which you probably are, and the brokerage account if you're opening a brokerage account for your LLC. Those are really the 3 minutes that you want to pay close attention to. The waiver of the notice of annual meeting, complete, sign, and date, and then your bank and brokerage account resolutions. Other than that, there's not much more to fill out in the LLC Minutes packet. I hope that this has been helpful and you are ready to start using your special purpose LLC. If you have any questions about your LLC formation documents, your operating agreement, or your LLC minutes, just reach out to our team and we'll be here to help.